Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Morning, morning, morning. Alrighty. LGR, baby. Friday. Friday, Friday, Friday. It's Friday then. How you guys doing this morning? Hopefully good. Hopefully good night's sleep. Ready to close up the week strong. Close up the week strong, hopefully. Thousand likes is the goal. Yes, sir. Do I still use market orders? Yes. Always. Always, always. Ready for another vacay? Yeah, I know. It's the first week of the year, and I'm ready to take a vacation. Me too, Anna. Me too. Need that Cuban coffee. I know. Or that Italian coffee. Wait a few minutes for some late people to jump in. Press that like button if you guys could. Get the economic calendar ready to go. I already did that, Anders. It's on Instagram. It's on Twitter. Do I try to recruit my friends into stocks? No, I do not. You can't get people that don't like trading to trade, man. It's got to be from the soul. It cannot be just because you're trying to make money or something. It's got to really be engraved in the life. It can't just be something you do half the time. It just doesn't work. Now you can buy stocks. You can invest for your future. This is not a Rangers blanket. This is a Rangers jacket. Because the New York Rangers are the best team in the league. All right. Let's just jump into it. Let's get out of here early today. I don't mind a little early release. So let's go. Let's just jump right in. Welcome back, guys. Press that like button if you could. 1,000 likes is the goal. That's the goal always. 1,000 likes on the stream. I would love to be able to put a counter up on the screen, but I can't figure out how to do it. So one day I'll figure it out. I've tried a lot of different things, but it just doesn't work. I know like Twitch has it and all different platforms have it, but YouTube still does not. So 1,000 likes. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Here we go. Let's jump right into it. Forex Factory, economic calendar. Today we have some pretty interesting economic events this morning. We have the average hourly earnings, we have non-farm payrolls, and we have unemployment rate, all at 8:30. All at 8:30. So, Blackhawks. Hold on. Hold. Pause. Let me pull something up. See that? See that one? I don't need this ad. Thank you. I just want this. All right. Anyways, let's continue. So, today, 8:30, economic data to be watching out for. Could definitely move the markets a little bit. So we'll see what happens. Things could change by open. That is the concern you always have if you're holding anything overnight. So 8:30, average hourly earnings, non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, and then 10 o'clock, ISM services PMI. So we'll see what happens there. We will see what happens there at 8:30. We'll see that live in about 24 minutes. All right. That's that. That's really all there is. And so let's jump right into the NASDAQ. Let's jump right into the NASDAQ. Let's jump right into the charts. Let's go over what happened yesterday. So yesterday, actually, you know what? I want to start on the ES because the ES did something pretty damn nice yesterday and definitely could have taken larger. I definitely could have executed slightly better yesterday. Unfortunately, you know, I did make back some of my loss yesterday on the SPY, but the first trade I took on the SPY was just a little bit off, and unfortunately, I had to take a loss on that originally. But yesterday on the SPY, guys, on the ES futures, all we did was pop into the previous lows, right? That's all we did. And so market structure remains intact to the downside, right? We remain intact to the downside. Everything that everything that needs to happen for more downside is still happening. So yeah, right. We can see right here, this is Tuesday's lows around that 47.65. Yesterday, we got that low volume grind right into that level. We saw the rejection step up. And after that rejection of Tuesday's lows, it was pretty much just downside from there. So if we continue to see previous lows turning into new rejections, right, we are going to continue to move higher. Move lower. It is not until something breaks in that trend that we will change direction on this market, right? So it is not until maybe this ES gets back above yesterday's lows, right? Possibly back above that yesterday high, right? It's not until you start to see that change in structure that this market continues higher. And that's pretty much it, right? And so we have to continue to trust that trend as long as it trades. And that is exactly what we did, right? Back when the market was going higher. So if you guys remember when the market was going higher, what were we doing, right? The ES was just continuously structuring to the upside, right? Previous highs into new lows, previous highs into new lows. And so we continued to see that on the upside. And so it's the same thing here to the downside. All right. So that was yesterday. And it was very clear. Previous lows into new highs. Now today, what are we watching? What are we watching today? Right. Today we're watching Wednesday's lows, yesterday's morning lows, and we're watching to see if it stays as a rejection point, right? If this level right here, 47.40, remains as a rejection point, this market remains weak. So anywhere, right, anywhere in this area, anywhere above current price action, any upside above current price action into 47.40 is meaningless, right? This is meaningless upside. If you see upside today into 47.40, right, that is meaningless upside. It does not mean anything for overall market, right? It would need to get back above yesterday's morning low and Thursday's low. Now, if you get back above that level, right, to make that green, if you get back above this level, this is meaningful, right? That's meaningful. If you actually get above the previous lows and you turn it back into support, then you have yourself a meaningful move, right? But anything under that is meaningless, and that's the same thing that happened yesterday, right? This is the same concept of yesterday's price action. Meaningless upside, right? Right into the rejection point, meaningless upside, right? So let's look for the same thing today, right? We'll see what happens on data. We'll see if we pop on data, maybe into supply, right? Maybe we drop on data. We shall see. But as of right now, you're watching 47.40 and you're watching that 47.65, and then the demand below is right here. So let's go to the hourly chart. Let's zoom out, and let's look at the demand below that could step in today. So the demand below that I'm watching as of right now, is this zone right here. It's this zone pretty much from the day of FOMC back on Wednesday, December 13th. December 13th, you have a Wednesday consolidation right in this 4,700 to 4,705. This is possibly where the ES could maintain today, right? There's possibly some demand at that 4,700, 4,705 area. That's what I would be watching, and I would be careful shorting into it. Now, if you break, all right, let's go and zoom into that Wednesday there. Let's zoom into that Wednesday where there could be some demand right here. Right, this is that Wednesday consolidation I'm referring to where some demand could step up right here. You have that Tuesday high, right? You have that Wednesday low, and then you have that FOMC straight upside, right? So today, if you start to break below this 46.96, right, then you're going to move lower. If you start to break below that 46.96, you start to see something like this today, you're going to move lower into that 46.70. So that's really my main watch today. What happens as we trade into this 4705, 4700 area? This is some possible demand that you want to be careful of if you are on the short side. All right? That is that FOMC Wednesday consolidation. We basically have just given up the FOMC move. That's basically what we have done since, over the last, let's say, 4 or 5 trading days. We've basically just given up the upside since FOMC. All right, so technically, not that terrible of a downside move. Could just still be a natural pullback. Absolutely. So we have to keep that in mind. We can never be too confident to a single direction. But you are definitely breaking some key levels. Right? And so today, right here, right there, 4,700, 4,705, that's the demand to be watching today. Be careful of that bounce near that demand. The best short entry today, if you are looking to ride this trend lower, what's the best short entry today? The best short entry today is right here, right? This is your best short entry of the day. Either here, or if you get a little bit higher, right, this is another potential short entry. You want to short on the pops into supply. You do not want to short into demand. Okay? So 4740, 4700, 4765, those are my ES levels. SPY. Hourly chart on the SPY, very similar analysis. You can see that Wednesday consolidation right here. You have that Wednesday consolidation from the pre-FOMC, right? Before that big FOMC move, you had a consolidation low around that 464, 465 zone on the SPY. That is where we are currently trading into, and this could be an area of demand. So a little bit cautious on the short side if we start to trade into that 464, 465 area, which is that pre-FOMC consolidation. Okay, so that's the first one. That's the demand to watch below. Now, if we look at the short term and look at what happened yesterday, pretty damn perfect, right? Tuesday lows, this little Wednesday high, and where did we reject beautifully yesterday? At the same exact level. So you can see right here, 471, 471, and 471. So yesterday in the morning, I took a short off 470. I took a short off this pre-market high, and I attempted to play the market short around that area, and unfortunately, I did get stopped out on the push higher. I did re-enter that later day after coming back under 470, and that actually was able to make some profits on that. But you can see here, right, reviewing that sort of trade, the short at 470, obviously it's easy to say in hindsight, but it's pretty clear that this was the correct level, right? You can very clearly see Tuesday lows, Wednesday highs, and Thursday highs. So that was a very nice rejection yesterday, something to sort of pay attention to there. If you do get any type of pop back into this level, right, that is a level to be watching. The next level that you should be watching today is 468. This is Wednesday's lows, Thursday's lows, right before the flush end of day. You can see it's that after hours pre-market high, right? And so if you do get any pop today on the SPY, you're watching 468, right? That could be your best short entry today is at 468. So 468 supply, I'd watch that. You got that demand below around this 465, 464. And then if you get higher above that 468, I'd be watching this 471 level. Okay? Pretty easy, right? Nice structured levels. I'd look for these types of trades. If you really want to go for it, you could look for that demand hold today. If you really want to look long today, you could try that demand hold. The other thing that I would say, right, for short-term trading is that if we get above 468 today and hold above it, I would retire the short entries on the day, right? I would not try to short if the SPY turns 468 into support today. That would be a very important reclaim of yesterday's of these demand levels, right? If you reclaim the 468 today, do not try to short into that move, right? That's a very important reclaim. That's a meaningful move, right? So if you get back above those lows, back above this little pre-market after hour rejection point, do not keep shorting if this 468 starts to hold today. That could sort of help the market higher back towards these highs. That's the same thing as the ES. All right, if the ES gets back above 47.40 today, if you start to see something like this, right, do not try to short if the market's back above 47.40. That's an important reclaim on the ES. This is a major level today. So see what happens at that level. That's going to be the key. That's probably the level you should just trade off of today. That's probably the cleanest level of the day. All right. NASDAQ. So as of right now, it looks like the NASDAQ is coming down into this channel high. And this could be, again, where the market starts to attempt a hold, right? We can see here on the 4-hour chart, you have some pretty important demand around this 16,330 area. You have 16,330, 16,330, little bit there, right? You have some 16,330 highs that could act as a short-term demand. So watch out for that 16,330 today. That is my first demand level to be watching. If we go down to the 15-minute chart, we can see yesterday on the NASDAQ futures, you pushed into pre-market highs and you rejected. That was really the move on the NASDAQ futures yesterday. You had a pre-market high around that FOMC low, right? Remember that FOMC low level we talked about? It is definitely valid. Look at the reactions at it. So yesterday, we rejected FOMC lows. We held that demand here at that 16,450, pushed into that FOMC low, and rejected. That was very clean. So today, what are you watching? Well, right now, you're getting a little bit of upside. So you're watching to see, does this 16,450 level, that previous low of day yesterday before the end of day move lower, does this turn into a rejection point? And if it does, then that would be a previous low into a new rejection point, and that could be potentially a short entry to look for today. So 16,450 is the first area today that I'm going to be looking to see, does it turn into a rejection? And if it does, right, I don't mind that short entry there. So that's number one, okay? If we get above that, right, then things could get a little bit interesting here on the NASDAQ, right? If we reclaim yesterday's lows on the NASDAQ right here, if we start to reclaim and hold, you could see some upside continuation here. So that's the same concept I have on the ES. If the NASDAQ gets back above that yesterday low, be careful continuing to short this move because that would be an important hold back above. I would really only want to short today if we see rejections at the previous day lows, okay? So 16,450 is the level I'm watching on the NASDAQ futures. All right, QQQ. Yeah, It's not really. I mean, you got a little bit of support here. It looks like it's attempting to hold. If I go to the hourly chart, you got this wick low that I think is what's attempting to hold this morning. This wick low from right here. This is back on December 12th. You have a wick low right there. That looks like that's where that demand is stepping up around that 394.50. So I think that should be on our charts, that 394.50. That's where you're starting to see that demand step up today, right here, 394.50. So that's important. Let's keep that on the charts. And then the level above, as we speak, that we're trading into is the previous day lows, right? Previous day lows right there, pre-market rejection. So you're watching 396. 396. Does the QQQ reject 396 today? Right here. Do we turn yesterday's lows into rejection points? Or does the QQQ get back above yesterday's lows and start to hold above? That is really the inflection point of the day, in my opinion, which we could get more insight on in about 8 minutes, 9 minutes when data is released. So this, to me, is your inflection point of the day. Right around that 396, do you get that rejection continuation, or are you able to reclaim that level? And if you do reclaim this level, right, think about this logically. If the QQQ is starting to trade above 396 today, you are not going to want to short back into that, right? Because then the QQQ could come back down, right? You could, if you start shorting here, right, thinking the market's going to move lower. Let me draw this a little bit better. If the market started doing this and it's coming down, and you start thinking to yourself, oh, baby, let's short this move right here, right? This could very well just hold that low, right, and push higher again. So I would be very cautious. If the market does reclaim yesterday's lows, I would be very cautious trying to short back into it, okay? That's going to be very important today, something to really pay attention to. These are the things you need to pay attention to intraday if you want to succeed at trading, right? That's just simply how it is. So watch that, okay? That's big. That's big. Now, if you reject it, right, it's the same concept, right? If the market's moving higher and you start thinking to yourself, oh, baby, we're going to go higher, right? You're, oh, I'm going to long right here, right? And I'm going to long right under yesterday's lows. You know, you could get stuck in a very nasty rejection, and that is not what you want to get stuck in, okay? So it's all about, do we get above or do we stay below yesterday's lows, in my opinion, today? On the NASDAQ, on the QQQ, on the ES at 47.40, it is all right there, right? That is really the inflection point for me on the day. All right? That's that. I hope that makes sense. I think it's pretty textbook today to know what to look for. All right, IWM. So you guys saw my video yesterday. I am short IWM this morning. Let's see if you probably won't. It'll quickly show. This is what Interactive Brokers does. It will quickly show what I'm up right now, and then it'll go away. So let me see if it shows. No, it doesn't show. So it's up slightly this morning. I'm going to see if it does it again. Sometimes it'll like quickly show. I'm sure you guys know this if you have Interactive Brokers. Sometimes it'll quickly show like your P&L because it updates pre-market, but it's not showing. So it was up like I think 30% this morning. The IWM puts that I have looking decent, but I'm not out of the woods yet, right? If this jobs data sort of pushes us higher, then I'm probably going to lose some money on that swing trade. However, the analysis stays true until IWM gets above 196. All right? The analysis stays true as long as IWM remains below 196. You have a very clear demand low that turned into clear as day rejections at 196 yesterday. This is also the 20 SMA right there. So, as long as that IWM is below 196, I will continue to look for that short side play, right? As long as these lows are turning into rejections, I will continue to look for that short side play, targeting this low volume gap. Give it a try, an IBKR Global Trader. Let me just see. I don't want to show my account number here. So hold on. Oh, it just showed it. It just showed. Let me see if it does it again. Damn it. All right, let's give it like 2 minutes and it'll come up. All right, so yeah, 196, that's the key. Watching that today, if we get any pop into that level, I'll look for the rejection again, and I am targeting this low volume gap down towards that 188. So let's see what happens. The other thing that I would be looking for on IWM today is a rejection of the previous lows. One right around here, right, which you're actually starting to see slightly as we speak. I would look for a rejection of the previous lows right here, right in this general area. So you can see as of right now, it looks like you're slightly rejecting that previous low a day, something I would be watching. It's better to be in a longer expiration. That's the problem. So for me, yesterday I day traded some downside and I took profits on like 3/4 of it. And I didn't feel like opening new contracts. I just let it run and I took the risk. Today, I will be positioning myself into next week, possibly 2 weeks out for that play, for a proper swing trade, right? The trade that I'm in is just a continuation of what I had yesterday on a day trade, right? That's it. It's not really the proper swing trade. It was just I had the contracts, I had profits on them, I took some profits, I let some runners ride, and that's really it. But if today looks good, right, if we continue to get that weakness today, I will look to actually position myself into some next week, some 2 weeks out, something along those lines. So we'll see what happens on data, right? Data is going to be the big deciding factor for me today. All right. Tesla. Actually, you know what? Let's keep going into some. I want to show you one more thing on IWM. Let's just keep going over the futures. Maybe we'll even jump into the Dow right now for some of you Dow freaks. And then we'll wait for the data to release. So the other thing I want to point out, guys, that could cause some problems on this IWM idea, right? There's definitely still things to be watching out for, and it is the top of this gap fill. So the high of this candle is 193.64. 193.64 is the high of this candle. And that could be something that causes the IWM to hold up. So that is right here, right? 193.64 is where you held here, where you held yesterday, right? You broke below it today. So I'm still going to look to see if it turns into a rejection, but that 193.64, that the top of that gap fill could cause some problems, right? And it could hold this IWM higher. So just something to be aware of, okay? All right, let's go into the YM. Mike Jones. I haven't looked at the YM in like months. What the hell has the Dow been up to? It's holding this 20 SMA actually. So you got like demand lows around this. It looks like this 37,450. All right, that's pretty clear. Right in that area. 37,450 demand. You got that 20 SMA demand sort of sitting there. Yeah, I would just sort of watch this 20 SMA today. That's really it. All right, that's really it. I would just look to see what happens at this 20. You can see that that's where we're sitting. All right. Yeah. This was a rejection yesterday of Wednesday's pre-market highs right in there. So yeah, I'd just watch the 20. I'd watch the 20 SMA on the Dow. That'll be crucial in my opinion. All right, we got data in 30 seconds. If you guys could, maybe I'll run an ad right when the data releases. No, I wouldn't do that. If you guys could, please press that like button for me. Get me to 1,000 likes today. That would be much appreciated. Friday. It's always a good day to press the like button, man. It's always a good day to press the like button. So we're about to get some economic data here in about 10 seconds. Let's see what happens. All right, and if the market goes up, then, that IWM trade could invalidate today, so we'll see what happens there. Okay, a little bit of downside. Let's see if it continues. Let's see if it wicks right back higher. Yes, it does. It's usually what it does. Who is calling me from Miami right now? I mean, come on. Who's calling me right now? I feel like I need to take this, but can't really do that on the live stream. Hold on, let me see. Hello? This is him? Yep. Yes, that'd be perfect. If you have some, it wouldn't be bad. All right. No, that's the moving company, guys. This is the last stream. The last stream in Miami. Soak it all in, man. Soak it all in. Last stream for, I don't know, for the foreseeable future in Miami. We shall see, right? I think I'll be back. I'm pretty sure I will be back. But for now, the last stream in Miami. All right. So downside on the market, IWM. Oh, baby. Let's see. Oh, it's going to be nice. Let's see if it shows real 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1,500. I just showed it for a second. Yeah, it's going to be a nice morning on good old IWM, huh? All right. Looks like I'm done for the day. Let's go, baby. Let's go. All right. So, well, if it holds up, of course. if it holds up, of course. We'll see. 40, yeah, we're in that demand zone. 4,700, 4,705. That's the demand we're watching. NASDAQ is that 16,330. That's the demand we're watching. Oh. Guys, who else pulls up their live account on a live stream, right? Who else does this? Okay, press the like button. Press it. Who else? Tell me. Awesome. I'm hyped. All right, let's continue. Let's go Rangers. Tesla. 90-day, 1 hour Tesla. So here's what you're watching. Okay, here's what you're watching. Tesla demand lows could be a little bit difficult to trade into. Okay, so just be a little bit cautious of that. You have this major demand low around this 232, 230 zone, right? Right in this area. You got to be a little bit cautious of shorting into that level. Okay, a little bit cautious of shorting into that level. 50 SMA, 200 SMA. I don't love this short, to be quite honest. I don't love this short into that 232, 230 area. You can very clearly see the major demand lows right here. Demand, right? And shorting into that level, it ain't going to be that easy, right? That's a sweat short right there. So not in love with Tesla. Yeah, and it's not really even moving off this data right now. And I already know what's going to happen, guys. It's going to be my famous last words. IWM is going to go straight back up. And we're going to joke about this live stream. I guarantee it. I'm going to try to take profits as quick as I can at open. So NASDAQ, right? Or I'm sorry, Tesla. I'd be careful around this. 233, 234, this 50 SMA. I don't love that short, right? I don't love that short. Back to the upside. Okay, so that's just something I'd be watching. What I would really want to see on Tesla is get Wiggs out of here. Get him out. Because Wiggs, he's happy that it's going back up because he wants me to lose money. That's why he's saying that. So let's get him out of here. Thank you. I don't need people like that, right? I understand that I'm not out of the weeds yet. I get it, right? I know this could go against me. I'm just having a little bit of fun. I'm not an idiot. I know this could change by open. And if you want to see me lose money, I don't want you to be here. So Tesla, 30-minute chart, right? Just be careful of that demand low down there, okay? Be careful of that demand low down there. What I would want to see if I want another short on Tesla, right? If I want another short on Tesla here, I want to see a bounce towards that 100 SMA, right? I want to see a bounce towards that 100 SMA, and that is where I would feel more comfortable, okay? Right up in there. But I don't want to be short into that low, okay? So 240, 241, 100 SMA, that's a little bit more of the area that I would want to be looking for the short side. All right, Nvidia. Here we go. So this is very interesting. And if we get market weakness, then I would want to look for this Nvidia drop. We have this Nvidia sort of bear flag that's setting up, in my opinion here, up into this supply level, this major 484 supply. So if I see this little trend that's forming here, right? See this little trend that's forming? If we get this little upside move and we get some market weakness today, this could be a very interesting breakdown. So definitely going to be watching this today. This is something that I am very interested in. So we'll see if it really sets up. There is a lot of demand below on Nvidia around that 476, right? We've seen some bounces in that 476 area that you have to be cautious of. But this does not look like a very strong upside little grind here on Nvidia, in my opinion. If Nvidia stays under that 484, I think this could just be a rejection, right? And a break of trend. So watching that 484 supply on Nvidia, that's really my major watch there. Let's check it on IWM. How's she looking? She's still good. Netflix. Oh, okay. All right. Here might be my top watch of the day. This might be my top watch of the day today, is Netflix. This looks really good, right? And this might be something that I put some risk into and just accept my fate. Because sometimes a technical setup's so good that I just go for it because this looks really, really interesting. This is a Netflix high, breakdown, retest, and possible rejection again. This could be a little head and shoulder formation here, right? Something along those lines. If Netflix stays below this 482 today, if Netflix stays below this 482 today, I am very interested in this becoming a bear flag, right? Look at this. This does not look like strong upside to me, right? This does not look like strong upside to me, and you are sort of trending higher right back into supply, right into here. So if we get this, right? If we get this and this starts to reject, right, I am interested in that downside move right there. Going to be watching that today, 482. I would want to get a short entry closer to 482, as close to 482 as possible. And I would look to see if this is a bear flag breakdown off this 482. Definitely something I'm watching today. It looks like it might do it before open even happens. So we'll see. AMD. I don't got much for you on AMD. AMD pretty much sideways, man. It's really not doing anything. It's really not doing anything. You got this low here, this high here, this yesterday high around the 20 SMA, the 137.50. You see right in there. You got your demand lows around 134. So this sort of looks like that trade you leave alone today, guys. I don't love this little channel here. I'd want to see something outside of it, right? Maybe a rejection of previous double bottom lows right there. Maybe a hold above the previous double top highs right there. But without that, you're sort of trading in a channel. And so I don't love AMD there. I would be careful there. Just watch that 134, 137.50. Meta, right? This is the third. Is it the third? Yeah, it's the third chart that looks very similar, right? What are the three charts that are creating these sort of slow upside bear flag type moves? We have Meta, we have Netflix, right? And we have Nvidia, all on a very similar chart, right? Look at how similar these are. Nvidia moving slowly higher into supply. Netflix slowly moving higher into supply. And the last one that I saw today was Meta. And Meta actually looks possibly the best, right? So you have this, it looks like it's like 348. It looks like you could give it around 348. You have a very clear rejection, right here at 348. A very clear previous hold at 348 and a very clear triple top at 348, right? And so if this starts to weaken, right, if this market starts to weaken, I could definitely foresee a bear flag breakdown, right? Something like this off of this 348 supply. So definitely another thing that I'm watching today. I'm going to look to see if that weakness steps in. But these are three chart setups that look identical to me. 348 supply Meta, Netflix, 482, and Nvidia, 484. Three very clear bear flag potential breakdowns. So going to be watching that today. Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. Apple, I don't know how to read Apple right now, guys. Apple's being influenced by not fundamentals, but sort of external factors, so to say. There's a lot of news going on Apple. The only thing I could tell you here is that you're at the 200 SMA. That's about the only thing that I could give you. I don't know, right? We've seen Apple sort of do its own thing here. I mean, the market has been weak, so yes, it has been grinding lower with the market, but the intraday moves are sort of shit, not going to lie, right? Like this is Wednesday, this is yesterday. They're not tradable opportunities, really. This is not tradable on Apple over the last 2 days. So the only thing I could say is the 200 SMA. That's the only takeaway I have here on Apple. It might just hold it, right? And I'd be careful shorting into it. Obviously, it's a 200 SMA. So a little bit of caution shorting into the 200. That's a very big level, guys. That's a institutionally used level, right? There's very major trades that are set up around 200 SMAs. So just be careful of it. It's going to be a big inflection point for Apple. It's $180 a share. If you break it, right, and you start to reject it, then you might see that downside continuation. But I would assume there's a willingness to hold here today, okay? So just be careful of that. Be careful of that. Let's go to Google because Google did something very nice yesterday. It was a perfect rejection of our level. We talked about this in the live stream. We talked about the 141, right? And so right here, you can very clearly see this. You have this 141 on Google, which turned into the perfect rejection yesterday for some very sexy downside. Now, the level that you need Google under today for any type of continuation is 137. You need Google to break under 137. If Google can break and hold below 137, then I like the downside continuation, likely into this 135, which is that 150 SMA, and it's also some of these previous demands here. So I would watch Google 137, right? If Google does break below that 137, then you might be able to catch a little bit of downside, but I would not short Google at 137, right? The short was at the highs. The short was at the highs. The short is not at the lows, right? That's the mindset shift that you need to have. You do not short something after the move that you saw yesterday right into demand. If you wanted to short Google, why not be short at 141 supply, right? Why be short now at demand? So that's the mindset shift. Be careful shorting at 137. You would want to see a hold under that level for that confirmation. Otherwise, Google's going to try to hold this 137 and move higher. Okay? So watch 137 Google. Amazon, big downside yesterday. I tried to short Amazon 136. It failed on me. I got stopped out, and then later in the day, it moved straight down. So just unfortunate there. But here's your levels today on Amazon, 143. Okay? Be careful on shorting 143. That's a demand below. You do not want to be short into that level. That could be a hold level. What I would look for today is a bounce into 146 again, right? I want to see a bounce back into some of these 146 lows. If I can get a nice little bounce on Amazon into that 146, then I would look for that short entry and continuation back towards 143. If you break under 143, then you might be able to catch a little bit of downside towards this 140 area. So 143, okay, big level on Amazon. What else did I want to look at? That's pretty much it. Did I miss anything? Maybe we'll look at Microsoft. Yeah, let's look at Microsoft, and let's look at Coinbase as well. Microsoft and Coinbase. So you can see right here, right? Microsoft, where is it? It's back at that demand again, right? But pretty clear rejections at that 20 SMA. So a little bit cautious longing this one, guys. Microsoft is has a really clean rejection at that 20 SMA, both Wednesday and Thursday. 20 SMA rejections. You have to hold this 366. You got to hold that 366. That is also the 50 SMA. So watch out for that 366 on Microsoft. That's your demand level. And then finally, we're going to end the day with Coin, which I still think could have further downside if the market stays weak. But it needs to break 148, right? Yesterday, I'm actually going to delete that level because it is an important level, but I can see a little bit more clear by just keeping the 161 on my charts. Actually, you know what? Let me put that back on. Just for my own sake, if I see 155 reactions today. But for now, I'm going to keep it off just to do my analysis here. You can see the push, right, and the bear flag, right? You can see the push into supply and the bear flag rejection. And that was right at 160-140, right? That is right at these lows, this high, this high. That's a perfect rejection on Coinbase. Now, if you want to see more downside, you need to get under 148. You need to get under 148 on Coinbase for any further downside. What I would look for today, actually, is a move back into 155 supply and then see if that rejects. If you pop back into that 155, that could be a rejection point as well. So 155, 160, 140, it's the same levels, right? We talk about these levels every day, same levels. You just have to see how it trades between them. IWM, how's she looking? A little bit of a bounce, but enough for me to take some profits this morning for sure. If it stays here at open, analysis is still true as can be. Very happy about this one. Nice little downside there this morning, but I'll definitely lock in some profits early morning as it is 0 DTE. So locking in some there. Maybe I'll try to hold some runners. If it remains weak today, then I will look for some next week's. Let's go to the ES real quick. So ES held exactly at our demand, right? That is your demand today. We've already talked about that exact level. And NASDAQ held right at our demand, right? So our levels are 100% valid. Demand hold there. ES, exact level we were talking about. So those are your levels to watch. If we break under those, more downside. All right? That's all I got. Thank you guys again. I hope you guys enjoy your day. I hope you enjoy your Friday. Make sure to keep it safe out there. It's Friday. It's never the day to mess up your trading week. If you've had a good trading week, keep it light. Trade next week contracts. Don't get all screwed up trading 0 DTE. Don't be an idiot. Just be smart, man. This is the year to be smart. 2024, maintain your balances. Protect your portfolios. Don't take stupid risks, right? This is normal trading things that people think you get into when you say you're a day trader. Yeah, I'm a day trader. I trade 0 DTE SPX, man. Like, no. Okay, no. Be smart. Save your money. Take risk. Be aligned with your risk tolerance. Know what you're doing, right? Something's got to change. If you're out there and you're unsuccessful, something needs to change. You can't keep doing the same thing and trading SPX, 0 DTE, and losing your money and doing it again and doing it again and doing it again and expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity, okay? Focus on your risk management. Take risks where you like it, but focus on how much you're risking. Focus on your portfolio. Be smart. And I will see you on Monday. Peace out.